is Andrew Jackson. Andrew is a fourth-year student from Greencastle, Pennsylvania, studying political science. He is in his third year as a member of Penn State Lion Caucus and concluding his first year as vice president of the organization. Lion Caucus serves as the student arm of Penn State Office of Government and Community Relations, focused on maintaining and building the university's relationships with elected leaders at the local, state, and federal level. In addition, as vice president of Lion Caucus, Andrew spent much of the past 2 years working to build civic engagement and student participation in political process on campus. Civic engagement and student awareness surrounding the political process plays an integral role in the success of achieving Lion Caucus's goals. Andrew will be speaking about the importance of civic engagement and student involvement in the democratic process at Penn State and how the university can work to enhance its important work. He looks forward to exploring the potential that exists within Penn State students and the State College community.
Good evening. Thank you for the introduction, Sarah. I appreciate it. It is an honor to stand before you today to speak about something that is not just important, but essential to the future of our university, our state, and our country. Penn State is more than just a university. It's more than a sum of its academics, its athletics, or even its traditions. It's a community, a powerful force with potential to shape policy, influence governance, and amplify student voices in ways that extend far beyond the walls of our classrooms. The true state of Penn State is defined by how we actively engage, advocate, and participate in the democratic process. When we as students raise our voices, we do not just make noise, we strive to make change. My name is Andrew Jackson, and I have had the privilege of serving as an at-large representative and the vice chair of the Government and Community Relations Committee for the University Park Undergraduate Association, and I currently serve as the vice president of Penn State Lion Caucus. Through my involvement in both organizations, I've seen firsthand the impact of student advocacy and the importance of student engagement. Not just on campus policies, but on broader legislative decisions that affect all of us. From funding decisions in Harrisburg to federal policies directly impacting higher education, the voices of Penn State students matter. And tonight, I want to talk to you about why civic engagement is critical and how we can strengthen student voter education here at Penn State and the steps that we must take to break down the barriers that hinder voter participation. Civic engagement isn't just about showing up to cast a ballot on Election Day. It is about recognizing that our voices hold power every day in every decision that affects our future. It is about using our collective influence to shape policies that impact our lives as students and as citizens. One of the most pressing reasons why civic engagement is crucial is Penn State's reliance on state and federal funding. Every year, our university receives a significant amount of financial support from government sources that help keep tuition affordable, fund student services, and ensure the long-term sustainability of our programs and organizations. However, this funding is never guaranteed. It is debated, it is negotiated, and sometimes threatened in legislative sessions, all while many students do not realize this is even happening. When these funds are on the line, student voices must be at the forefront, advocating for the resources that we depend on and cherish. Through my work with the Lion Caucus, I've had the opportunity to participate in direct advocacy efforts, meeting with lawmakers, discussing the needs of our student body, and pushing for a continued investment in higher education. But student engagement cannot stop at just a handful of representatives. It must become a movement. Imagine if every student here understood the power they hold when they collectively demand action. Imagine the impact we could have if our entire student body stood together advocating for the issues that matter most to us. To do all of this, we must work to create an engaging environment that fosters long-lasting commitment to civic involvement. This means encouraging open dialogue, providing accessible resources for students to learn about policy decisions, and ensuring that every voice feels heard and valued. By empowering students with the knowledge, confidence, and platforms to engage with lawmakers and policymakers, we can transform our collective passion into tangible change. Together, we can strengthen our influence, amplify our concerns, and shape the future of higher education for generations to come. Pennsylvania is not just any state, it is a battleground state. Time and time again, national elections are decided right here, and Penn State students have the power to influence those outcomes in very significant ways. Yet, despite this power, many students continue to face obstacles to voting. Confusion about registration deadlines, uncertainty over what address to use, and a lack of accessible information work to create unnecessary barriers for them. These obstacles silence voices that should be shaping the future of our country, and to me that is unacceptable. So, how do we change this? How do we ensure that every Penn State student who wants to vote is able to do so without confusion or difficulty? One solution is to expand PSU votes and the Civic Engagement Alliance. Imagine a Penn State where every voter is registered upon move-in, where every student moving into on-campus housing is automatically provided with voter registration information on day one. Imagine if student organizations in Greek life made civic engagement a larger pillar of their missions, mobilizing their members and ensuring that everyone they know is prepared to vote. Imagine if we partnered with off-campus housing complexes to distribute voter registration information and assist students in navigating this process. Each year, thousands of students transition from on-campus housing to apartments and houses around the State College area, often unaware that these moves require them to update their voter registration to reflect their new address. Without clear guidance, many students are left confused about where to begin, leading to unintentional voter disenfranchisement. To address this, we must establish a structured system that simplifies this process. This could include integrating voter registration updates into lease signing procedures with off-campus housing complexes, ensuring that every student receives timely reminders and step-by-step instructions. Additionally, student organizations should develop outreach campaigns and housing registration drives at popular off-campus housing locations and provide these accessible resources to walk students through the process. These are not just ideas, they are actionable solutions that I believe can and will drive real change. One of the most powerful initiatives we've launched to strengthen student engagement is the Meet the Legislator event organized by Lion Caucus. This event brought state representatives to campus for open discussions on key issues such as education funding, student rights, and economic development. For many students, this was the first time that they had ever spoken directly with policymakers responsible for shaping their futures. Students asked tough questions, lawmakers listened, and meaningful conversations about the future of higher education took place. But one event to me is not enough. If we truly want to bridge the gap between students and our policymakers, we need to do more. We must host more forums, increase legislative outreach, and make these conversations a consistent and accessible part of campus life. So, where do we go from here? How do we take the momentum that we've built and ensure that civic engagement is not just an occasional effort, but a defining characteristic of our student body? To me, the answer lies in a multifaceted approach. First, strengthen student-led advocacy groups. Our student governments, Lion Caucus, and other civic organizations need more support, more resources, and most importantly, more student involvement. Second, partnering with downtown housing companies. Many students live off campus and face additional barriers to voter registration. By working directly with these property management companies, we can make voter registration an easy and expected part of move-in here in Center County. Third, expanding education on civic engagement and legislative impact. We need to ensure that every student understands the power of their vote and the impact that local, state, and federal policies have on their daily lives. Penn State is strong, but it can be stronger. It can be more engaged, and it can be more empowered. And to me, that begins with all of us. In my time at Penn State, I've seen incredible progress in the realm of student advocacy and civic engagement. Since 2021, We have strengthened our efforts to educate, mobilize, and empower students, ensuring that their voices are heard in local, state, and national matters. In 2022 and 2024, our community navigated two highly competitive election cycles with a steadfast commitment to civic engagement, ensuring that every student had the resources and information they needed to participate, regardless of their political affiliation. I've been proud to contribute to initiatives that have increased voter participation, expanded access to legislators, and fostered a culture of civic responsibility. Seeing the growth firsthand has been both inspiring and deeply moving. The passion and commitment of Penn State students to continue to reaffirm my belief that we are not just attendees of this university, we are active participants in shaping its future. So, let's keep pushing forward, let's keep engaging, and most importantly, let's keep doing everything we can to make sure our voices are heard. A strong democracy depends on active participation and flourishes when we stay informed and engaged. Never forget that your involvement is essential to its strength. Thank you.
Thank you for your conversation on civic engagement, Andrew. I would like